But even as we focus on deporting criminals, the fact is millions of immigrants in every state, of every race and nationality, still live here illegally. And let's be honest, tracking down, rounding up, and deporting millions of people isn't realistic. Anyone who suggests otherwise isn't being straight with you. It's also not who we are as Americans.
All right. Kind of funny hearing the president say anyone who says something isn't being straight with you. Okay, joining us now is the executive director of the Center for Immigration Studies and columnist for National Review, Mark Krikorian. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Your reaction to what we heard from the president last night?
It was, the usual string of cliches, frankly, but what matters, what people need to understand is that what he announced is not simply looking the other way for illegal immigrants. In other words, he actually put it that way. He said, we're just saying to you, we're not going to deport you. That's actually false. What the president has proposed is 4 to 5 million illegal immigrants being given work permits, driver's licenses, social security numbers. In other words, they're actually getting something rather than just being ignored. And that's an amnesty. I mean, they are now legally living and working in the United States. It'll supposedly be temporary, but you need to put quotes around temporary because we have some other temporary statuses like this that actually are lawfully provided by Congress. And they've never expired, or they expire, they're always renewed every time they expire. No one, not a single person that we can find who was given a temporary amnesty, kind of like what the president has talked about, has ever been made to go home because it expired. So this is a permanent grant of amnesty to millions of people without any vote from Congress. In fact, contrary to the wishes of Congress, because Congress refused to pass the amnesty bill that the president is demanding.
All right, there's probably no better person to ask than you. When the president said that every president, Democrat and Republican, over the last 50 years has done the same thing, that is absolutely untrue, is it not?
Yeah, that's baloney. Now, there's a pretext he's using there that is true, and that is that presidents in the past have in fact given a kind of temporary amnesty to very small groups of illegal immigrants, almost always because there was some catastrophic reason they couldn't go home. The Civil War, the Chinese crackdown in Tiananmen Square, that kind of thing. Those were small, focused, and were actually essentially part of his responsibilities as commander-in-chief and head diplomat for the country. But even that, Congress was uncomfortable with. And in 1990 and then in 96, it actually restricted the president's abilities to unilaterally grant these kind of statuses. And so, the answer is no, this is not something that there's precedent for. And the scale also matters, because if something's big enough, it becomes different, even if you can point to the same provision of the law that you're pretending to base it on. He is giving amnesty to something like 100 times the number of people that he's claiming that President Bush, the first President Bush, did. 100 times larger. Sorry, when there's something that much smaller than what you're claiming, it's not a precedent. And he also, just as the last point, no president ever, and no member of Congress ever imagined that the wiggle room that they give the president, and rightly so, in enforcing the law, they have to have flexibility. No one ever imagined that flexibility meant that he could amnesty 5 million people on his own say-so, contrary to Congress's will. He is abusing the discretion that he has and has to have, but he's abusing it.
There are some who say this is step one, that there's going to be more to come if he gets away with this. Do you believe that?
Well, I mean, in a broader sense, beyond immigration, this is step, I don't know what.
Well, no, but I'm talking about immigration specifically, that he might go further and include more people as time goes on.
It's entirely possible. A lot of that will depend on whether he gets away with this, because some of the package, the scheme that he released yesterday rather, some of it is within his power to do, even if it's bad policy. Some of the specific, because there's a lot of particular pieces here. The big piece is the amnesty.
Right.
And that Congress can stop that.
Right. Well, they don't know exactly what they're going to do. Mark, great talking to you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, folks. We want to hear from you. Should President Obama have done what he did last night? Go to Newsmax.com/poll to vote. Newsmax.com/poll. Don't go away.